everyone, to the Big Picture Manatee. We're here where our mission provides a nonpartisan space to listen, learn, inform, and educate the public about issues affecting Manatee County. I'm Sherry Corrier with a little over 30 years of experience in local government at the top level here in Manatee County. And along with me are my colleagues on the Big Picture Manatee.
Hello, everyone. My name is Reggie Bellamy, former County Commissioner of District 2, proud graduate of the Great Bethune-Cookman University, and a Army veteran. Nice to see everyone.
Hey, everybody. I'm Misty Servia, former County Commissioner for Manatee and 30-year urban planner in the public and private sector right here in our area. Good morning.
Good morning to my colleagues, and as you all can see, we have a special guest this morning, and we would love to hear a little bit of your background, Chief Tokajer.
Well, thank you for having me on the Big Picture. I'm very happy to be here and happy to give some information out. I've been in law enforcement. I started my 45th year as a police officer this last July. I started in the Army Military Police in 1979. Then I went to Sarasota Sheriff Department, went to Bradenton Police after that, did 26 years, retired as a deputy chief with Bradenton. Retirement didn't take. I went to Longboat Key for 2 years, and I've been the chief of police for the city of Holmes Beach for just over 10 years.
Wow, thank you so much. And as you go through your history, we just want to remind our viewers that all of the views we express here on our own show here are not reflective of the big picture as a Manatee whole, Big Picture Manatee as a whole, but they're here for all of you to gain information. So I want to turn it over to my colleague Misty Servia to kind of get the ball rolling here, Chief, with some questions.
Okay,
go right ahead,
Sherry. Hey, so I say we start right out of the gate. Tell us about this parking issue. Do we have a parking problem?
We do not have a parking problem in Holmes Beach. We have a traffic problem in Holmes Beach. We have plenty of parking. We have properly marked the parking so that it's easier for our guests to see. We put a map on our website that shows everybody where the available parking is. It's been said by commissioners from the county that we have reduced our parking from numbers between 1,200 spots to 2,000, which was said at this last meeting. That's not true. It's not accurate. When we were first asked in 2020 what we were doing with the parking and how many spots we removed, we took a big picture view of Holmes Beach through Google Earth and said, okay, on these roads, it looked like you can have this many cars. So it wasn't an accurate count as to how many spots were actually removed. It wasn't done by any mapping solutions through GIS, which is what we have now. So the true numbers are, and these are presented to the county commission from the director of natural resources, Charlie Hunsaker, presented these numbers as his factual numbers. He's the expert in this area. So he said that in 2013, Holmes Beach had 1,255 available spaces, 1,255. That's the total we had in 2013. In 2020, his new count was that we had 775. That's a reduction of 480 spots, okay? 480 spots, not 1,200, not 2,000, 480, and that's from Charlie Hunsaker. Charlie went on to say that we meet the needs and the requirements of state funding and federal funding. Okay, so that's his words, that we meet the needs. What the truth is that we exceed what the requirements are for the state and federal funding. We also exceed the number of parking places that are in our interlocal agreement with Manatee County. Manatee County came to Holmes Beach some time ago, and they met with us just a couple of years ago, and they said, we would like to have the number of parking places in our interlocal agreement to be 500 places. So we're like, okay. And we signed an interlocal agreement to have 500 places close to the beach within a quarter mile. We actually have 775, which is more than our interlocal agreement says that we have to have. So, it's like we don't see why we're getting attacked when we have more than what you've asked us for. Okay, not you, the county, the county board. So
I just have to
getting to, yeah.
hear all that. I think to myself, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but not their own facts. So thank you
Exactly.
so much for providing the facts. And just anecdotally, I go to the beach about once a week, not during this blazing hot summer, but every other part of the year. And not once have I ever had a problem finding a parking space. And that is the truth. So thank you.
Well, let me give you a little bit of more to that. You say you go once a week. I'm here every day. Okay, I'm here on a good amount of weekends. I'm here on every holiday. So on weekends and holidays from spring break going forward for months after spring break, I came to the beach myself, went out on the beach, went out on every one of our beach accesses and counted parking. And there wasn't a day, even on holidays, that we didn't have at least 100 parking places still open and available. And that was when I did the inspections between 11 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. I did the inspections. So we had as many as 300 spots, but never did we have where there was no parking available. And here again, you can find that parking on our website for the city of Holmes Beach. There's a map that shows you where all the parking is. And this parking is within a stone's throw of the beach, not like it was said on the news from Commissioner Van Ostenbridge that we put back some parking, but it's so far away from the beach that nobody wants to walk from it. All of our 775 places are you could see the beach from there. Okay, you can see it, you can walk to it. It's there, it's right up at the beach accesses. And I invite anybody that wants to take a tour and see that to come out. We will take them out on the four-wheelers and show them where all of the beach parking is. And, what they don't realize is because they're not willing to come out and see, when the problems are, when the holidays are, when the weekends are, our public beach parking, which they said is 300 spots. It's actually 406 spots at the public beach. I went there and counted them the other day again, just to make sure. And we did lose some when they put in some of their big trailers and their storage units for over by the lift station they have there. We lost some of the parking that was there, but there's still 406 spots at the public beach. And when that public beach is full, so is the area in front of it. As my experience of 10 years, I will tell you that people are not willing to walk more than 2 blocks to the north and 2 blocks to the south of the public beach. They don't want to be that far away from the lifeguard. They don't want to be that far away from the bathrooms and the facilities and their vehicle. And that area is now already packed with people in umbrellas. It is packed wall to wall with umbrellas, tents, and people, coolers, their kids, and they're not willing to walk any further away. So if we're packed now, where are we going to put the other, 3,000 to 4,000 people that a parking garage is going to bring? It's going to ruin the experience that we have now at our beach. Last week, I gave a call to the Public Safety Deputy Director, Steve Litchauer, and had a conference call with him, Lifeguard Chief Chet Brown, to talk to them about the capacity we have right now and the problems that we're having just getting through the crowds. So I told them that we need to now look at putting up some type of barrier on the beach itself where it dictates where public safety, the lifeguards, the firemen, the EMS, and law enforcement can travel through the crowds like they do in some of the other beach areas, like in Clearwater and Treasure Island, where they have dedicated travel lanes for the vehicles that we take out onto the beach for safety, because we can't get through. At the last holiday, we had a 5-year-old that was missing. We found him about 25 blocks from the public beach. He had walked that far, and I was going down the beach with lights and siren to try and get people to move so that we can get our vehicles through to look for this missing child. It's just crazy. So, the talk about putting more people out there when we're already over capacity and no study's been done. No study's been done by the state. No study's been done by the county to see if we can hold the capacity of that parking garage is going to do. But I'll tell you this, the state tells us how much parking we're supposed to have for beach renourishment. I would bet that number wasn't pulled out of thin air. I would bet that that number came out of a study that they went up and down the beach and said, this is how many cars you have to have because this is the capacity that your beach can handle. It wasn't a number that they just said, let's just say 200 spots without coming and looking. I'm pretty sure that they did a study. And now with the latest thing that just came out on the parking garage, they're talking about 900 spots in the parking garage. First, it was 1,500, 1,700 spots. Now the presentation that was just done on Monday was 900 spots for somewhere between 30 to $35 million. The number is now. It started at 45 to 50 million. Now it's 30 to 35 million. So you're going to put less than 500 additional spaces for $30 million.
That's
I don't see where the math works.
Yeah, you're the building sucks up 400 spaces, right?
Right. Yep. Yeah. So that's gonna you're only gonna add if we have 406 spaces now, you're gonna add 494 more spaces to come up with a number of 900 spaces that they're going to have at the parking garage. So it doesn't make sense financially. It doesn't make sense for law enforcement, for public safety, to put more people in an already sardine canned area. This is not something where people are going to walk further. We have one lifeguard. We in our entire beach area, okay, which is a couple miles long. Okay, we have one lifeguard station. We have one set of bathrooms. We have asked. We went when they came and asked us to open up more parking. We're like, well, would you consider putting lifeguards at some of the other areas of the beach? And the answer was nothing is stopping Holmes Beach from getting their own lifeguards. And we're like, this isn't just a Holmes Beach thing. You're constantly saying this is your beach, not Holmes Beach, but you want Holmes Beach to provide additional lifeguards to an area that's already, jam-packed with people that doesn't have the public safety it should.
So, Chief,
Wow.
this just isn't you. Let's remind our audience, this isn't Chief Tokajer's thoughts only. You have a city council, you have a mayor, you have residents. Tell us real quick how all of this has come to be, given your residents, your council, and your mayor, and everyone's opinion.
Okay, so our parking, the removal of unlimited parking came about during COVID. Let me take a sip here. And it wasn't because of COVID, but because during COVID, the governor had a stay-at-home order. So when he did his stay-at-home order, the counties did likewise with stay-at-home orders, and the county closed the public beach. So when the county closed the public beach and the public beach parking lot, that was forcing people to go into our residential areas. So what we did was we stopped people from parking in all of our residential areas. We didn't close our beach. We allowed people to walk to the beach or get there and park somewhere else. We just didn't allow parking on our residential roads. And when we did this, we realized that this made it safer. Okay, we had the residents coming to us and saying, we love the no parking in front of our house. We don't have diapers out there. We don't have the trash that's left behind by all the people on the beach. They don't have the people that are coming and using their pools to wash off and their hoses to wash off them and their children before they get in their cars, because people will go to a pool that's right off the beach access and dunk their children in the pool to get the sand off of them before they get in their cars and leave their trash behind. They weren't parking in front of mailboxes. We could get our public safety vehicles, our trash trucks, and our mail personnel, the mail delivery could get through the roads because we didn't have people parked on both sides of the roads that were blocking all the travel paths. And that's exactly what it was. So it's a public safety nightmare for us to try and get through. We would get calls from the trash trucks all the time saying, hey, we couldn't do this road because there are people parked on both sides. We couldn't get our truck through to pick up people's trash. So what we did was we came up with a balance. What we did was we already paid for no parking signs. We had them on every road. So then before we reopened, when the governor reopened the state and the county reopened Manatee County and the beaches, we went through and logically we looked and said, okay, we can have parking here, we can have parking here, but we can't have it on both sides. So that's what we did, was we limited it. And a lot of the limiting was not actually done by us. A lot of the limiting was done by new builds, people building a house, which used to be a smaller house. Okay. Now it's a little, mini hotel. Okay. With, a 6-car garage. Okay. So that 6-car garage used to be 3 parallel parking places. So when we went through, we're like, okay, well, you can't park here because there's a driveway there. Can't park here because there's a mailbox here. You can't park here because you can't get off the road enough to where it's safe. Okay. And the cities around us for many years, long before I was here, Anna Maria had as a sign as you enter the city that says park with all 4 tires off the road. When you enter Braden Beach, for many years before I was chief here, they have a sign that says no parking on any right of way. So they don't allow any on-street parking in Braden Beach. Okay. But we're the ones that are being picked on because we removed 480 places, which if you actually looked at it, we probably removed 200 places and new builds took the other 280 places, in reality, if you can, when you can't park with all 4 tires off the road, that removed some as well. And we did that with the Destination Zero. This is a state thing. They want us to reduce the amount of deaths due to traffic. So if you have a car in the road and you have people that are walking in the road and bicyclists that are walking in the road, then they have to go around those vehicles. If the vehicle is parked off the road, completely off the road, that gives more space for our pedestrians, for our bicyclists, for our multimodal, and it just made sense. You couldn't park, in Anna Maria, you have never been able to park without all 4 tires off the road. So we're getting picked on, but we're the last ones to put any, parameters on our parking. I went for a ride yesterday and, not to pick on Anna Maria, but you go up into the city of Anna Maria, the first 3 roads you go down, there's no parking signs for both sides of the road. Mm-hmm. Both sides, not just one side, but both sides of the road on the first 3 roads that you go down. Yep. It's not just us, but KVO, when he got into office, he said, I'm drawing a line in the sand. We're not going to give Holmes Beach any funding until they give us back our parking. Well, how is it his parking? It's a residential road. Manatee County dictates where you can park and where you can't on your residential roads. When people come to Manatee County and say that they have a problem in their neighborhood, they limit the parking there and they limit the amount of hours that you're allowed to park. We've done the same. It's for the betterment of our community and it's working. And our city commission is 100% behind it. Our residents are 100% behind it. We don't get complaints from our residents, our businesses, our vacation rentals. Nobody's complaining about the parking rules that we have. And our restaurants and businesses in Holmes Beach, you have to have the parking on site when you put in a business for your capacity. So, a parking garage isn't, needed for Holmes Beach or for the Holmes Beach, people, or to come to Holmes Beach. The only time that the parking garage will be used is during weekends where it's spring break, holidays, things like that. Other than that, we have plenty of parking already. It's just that people have to realize that if you want a parking place during a weekend or a holiday, you should come early. You don't go to Disney at 1 p.m. and think you're going to park close to the gate. You want a premium spot, come out early and get it. When I'm out here on the weekends, people come to me all the time, 1 and 2 p.m. and say, hey, where are they parking? The beach parking lot's full. I said, yeah, it's full at 9:30 in the morning. You've got to come out earlier. But if you go down all of our roads, you will see the parking that we have available. I said, it's got roped areas that are marked with a P that tell you that that's a parking place. Park always facing the right direction. Park with all 4 tires off the road. Don't park on a sidewalk. Don't park in front of a stop sign. Don't park in front of a fire hydrant. These are things that are nationwide, the same rules. Holmes Beach didn't add, other rules that aren't done all around us.
Yeah, it
Wow,
goes back.
so
Go ahead, Reggie.
wow, you can tell that you're passionate about your service.
Oh yeah,
thank
I
you
still
for
love what I
serving
do, Reggie.
in the military. I like a couple of things that you talked about is that we have a traffic issue, not a parking issue. With the momentum of a new parking garage, coming, what would that look like for law enforcement? What could you anticipate with that?
Well, it's going to be a public safety nightmare. I asked Bradenton, I called Bradenton Police and I said, you have 3 parking garages downtown. Can you give me the calls for service that you've had for the last 3 years? So the last 3 years, from August of 2020 to August of 2023, the city center garage, which is on 3rd Avenue in the 1100 block, they had 513 calls for service. The financial center at 1400 Manatee Avenue, 3 years now, they had 644 calls for service. The city garage, at 615 12th Street, 2,438 calls for service in 3 years. So this is going to mean that a garage at our public beach is going to need additional police services, and that's going to be a substantial cost to the county to police that parking lot. What the parking lot becomes, and that's why they have so many calls for service at the city garage at 12th Street, is it's a place that the homeless set up camp. And is that what we want at our tourist destination? The biggest tourist draw for Manatee County, where all the money comes from, is a parking garage for homeless people at the, right at the gateway to Holmes Beach. It just doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't. I think so the most of the facts that you provided here today, it sounds like at the previous meeting, you weren't given an opportunity to share all of those numbers and all of those facts with the community. So we're really glad that you're able to do that here today. And one of the big items you mentioned that really resonates with me is the parking garage aside is people on the beach, safety on the beach. And I would contend as well with you that subject has not been fully baked out, where people have said that we understand that each one of those cars could have 4 to 5 people in them. It's not about a parking space. Then all of those people are on the beach. So we appreciate that you're able to provide that additional information. And, I think construction of a facility like a parking garage like that at the gateway to the island frightens me of how long it will take, what it will do to tourism and the beach during that particular time. Because we know people, when they cannot get to where they want to go, they find new spots, and it doesn't mean they're going to find them in Manatee County. They're going to go somewhere else. Even your local people are not going to be too excited about waiting a year to 2 years to be able to come back out to the island. So I know that's going to also increase problems. Was there any discussion about that inconvenience?
We actually asked, what's your plan for for the parking for the 2 years? Because they said it's going to take about 18 months to 2 years. Okay. And keep in mind, they're talking about, between the numbers have been between 30 million and $50 million. Okay. Show me one job that's been done in Manatee County that Manatee County has set up to do that's come in at budget. Okay. So if you're talking 30 million, it's going to be closer to 45, 50 million, because, every project is over budget. It's over what was projected to be the budget. So 2 years of a entire parking lot, 406 spots that will not be available. Look at what's been done in Coquina, how long that 6-month job has been going on for like 5 years. Okay. That was supposed to be done, quite some time ago. Okay. And, the cost of what that's doing. So where are those people going to park during, that 2-year period? And there's been no answers except for at one talk that KBO did, he said, well, he's going to get the city to open up on-street parking. Well, that hasn't worked for him now. What makes him think that we're going to open up on-street parking for, and I'm speaking for me, not for, my entire commission, but they have already said, that they don't want to reverse and go to unlimited on-street parking again. So I don't see that happening. It's just going to be a nightmare while the construction is underway. I'm hoping that common sense prevails, and we've invited the present commissioners to come out and do a tour. We have one tour that's already set up that's going to be done. We took George Cruz has already come out, and he was shocked to see how much parking we have, how much is available, and how nicely we marked it so that it's clear where you can and can't park.
Yep. And I think as you're talking about this, all I can think about is if I'm a resident on Anna Maria or Holmes Beach during that 2 years, I'm not going to look any different than anybody else that's trying to get out to the beach on a regular basis. And how will that's going to impact my quality of life, but also my ability to get on and off the island when I used to be able to do it at certain times. So I think the information that you've been able to share with us today has been pretty eye-opening. I think that the people listening to the program now know, and everyone spread the word, there is an online map of where parking is in Holmes Beach. Thank you for putting that together. I recall all the struggles. And I do want to say, I think a lot of people, while this could be good, have forgotten that a global pandemic caused a huge number of issues during the time that you're discussing these parking issues, and that things can happen. And we all worked together as well as we could without knowing what the outcome was going to be. And so now we are beyond that. But that was not a feud between the county and the city of Holmes Beach. As you so aptly mentioned, we were all following the executive orders of the governor, who was then also following federal information that he was receiving as well. So this is an ongoing saga.
Yes.
We know that we will have you back to talk more about the status of this and to be able to provide information and a message out to all the people. Is there anything else as we close out the program that you'd like to share that you didn't have a chance to today for our viewers?
Just a couple things. It's constantly being said by the commission that they want more parking for Manatee County residents to come out and go to the beach. And they said that when they opened up the library. They asked us to open the library, which we did, and they asked to open the school, which we did for a period of time. They had an agreement with the school. And I'll tell you that I went through those parking lots and I ran the tags of all the people that were in there. And out of all of those parking places, which combined between the two of them is about 100 parking places. Okay. There were in the school parking lot, there were 2 cars that were from Manatee County. In the library, there was 1. Okay. Everybody else was from all over the state of Florida, the country, people coming here to our free parking beach. Okay. There's, so much. And another thing to keep in mind, we've gotten beaten up on the parking, but when they were beating us up on the parking and the state legislators were talking about how they are going to push through this parking garage, they were also talking about consolidating the 3 cities, and they stepped off of that, this year. But we have another legislative session coming up, where they're going to be starting again. And we're thinking in the back of our minds, is this going to come up again? We have 3 unique cities that have, won awards, national awards for being so unique, for being so charming, for being such a lovely place to go and visit, and if the state legislators and the county keeps coming and bullying the little guy, that's not going to happen. And it's not just us. I mean, we're not the only small city in a coastal city that has to be worried about this. This is, a statewide problem, that we need to look at, because, the legislation that's come out this last year bullying us into a parking garage, It's un-Republican for big government to come in and tell little government what to do. And that's what is being done right now by our Republican legislation. They wouldn't, they don't want, President Biden telling Florida what to do, but Florida wants to tell Holmes Beach what to do. It just doesn't make sense. It's not the right thing to do. They're on the wrong side of history, and it's going to be seen.
Thank you for all of your information. We really appreciate you being here today. We're going to close out this segment and again, see you coming back soon. We just want to remind all of our viewers to remember that you can subscribe to us on YouTube at The Big Picture Manatee. And while you're there, make sure you like us. You can get more of our content. You can see additional shows coming forward. You can also find us on Facebook at The Big Picture Manatee and on our webpage, thebigpicturemanatee.com. Send us your questions, your comments, your observations, and we're happy to dig deeper into subjects that we are bringing you. Thank you so much, Chief Tokajer, for your commitment to public safety, not only just on Holmes Beach and all of the island, but for Manatee County residents' safety throughout. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you. I look forward to our next segment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.